All right, all right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Crown Council live stream broadcast. I'm Stuart Anderson, joined by Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey, happy summer.
Yeah, happy summer. It is June 20th. This is our live stream broadcast. If you've never joined us before, this is our weekly live stream where we connect with our community, talk about what's happening, give you updates on how to engage with membership, interviews from some of the best stories around the Crown Council, and just do our best to connect this awesome community of businesses, members, team members, dentists, and the dental community. So we're grateful that you join us live or even watch us recorded. We've been doing this almost, man, 2 years now. We've been doing live streams every Thursday. This is our same time. Yeah. Any Greg, I know we've got a few updates to the Crown Council, newsworthy items to make sure everybody's on track. So why don't you start with Smiles for Life 2024 and give us a bit of a rundown of what Smiles for Life is and then what is happening.
Smiles for Life is the dedicated charitable effort of the Crown Council, of course. And this this week, we are coming to the end of the whitening campaign,
Mhm.
which is a Smiles for Life program where we whiten teeth of our patients and allow the patients to contribute what they would have paid to the dentist to the Smiles for Life Foundation. We have a terrific partner in Ultradent who provides all of the whitening material as part of the campaign. And by the way, I found out yesterday, quite randomly, as I was researching some old stuff, that this is the 10th year of Ultradent's participation with us in Smiles for
That
Life.
seems impossible.
Yep, we started to
2015.
they started at the end of the campaign in 2014. So
Wow.
um, marvelous. But
Hmm.
today is the 20th of June, Thursday. Today is the last day to order whitening material as part of the 2024
Oh, today is.
whitening campaign. So
Today.
today is the last day.
Whoa.
So if you have patients that are scheduled and you want to get them in,
Okay.
order your whitening stuff today. And then you have all the way through the month of July to get those procedures completed and get the funds into the hands of the Smiles for Life Foundation. And then on August the 1st, we do a hard cutoff on August the 1st, and whatever money has been contributed counts towards the distribution that will be made to all the local charities.
Okay.
Um, After the 1st of August, about the 15th of August ish, we will send a letter out to every practice that verifies with them how much money that we have received and what the name is of the local charity. And then by the 1st of September, we usually get those checks printed and out to every practice for those checks to be hand delivered to the charity.
Nice. Very good.
So we've
And
raised well over $1 million already
nice.
this year.
Okay.
We expect that we'll receive another three or $400,000 by the 1st of July
Okay.
or by the 1st of August. And on an average, over the last couple of years, we've been raising between 1.4 and $1.5 million a year,
Incredible.
uh, which is amazing. It's just amazing.
I agree. And any
50
act
million. We've raised over $50 million.
incredible. And you know, to see the money distributed to local charities and the good that is done. Aaron was just talking about some of the humanitarian trips that are planned for this year, that some of that Smiles for Life money goes to. Gregor, what are other things that are action items for offices right now who are participating in Smiles for Life? What do they need to be concerned about or doing? Or, you know, I know there's talk of reconciling kits. I've ordered 40 kits. We've only used 30. Can we talk about that right now? Is that worth talking about?
Yes. So every kit that we receive from Ultradent must be used for charitable purposes. So we very much encourage you, if you haven't used all the ones that were sent to you, to use them. Um, by the 1st of August. If by chance you have any kits remaining that were sent to you for charitable purposes, we will give you an opportunity to purchase them by having the office make a contribution to Smiles for Life for the value of that kit. So that money will go into the charity. It is not possible to return them. One of the things that came out of the COVID-19 pandemic is the things that were sent to your office that are medically related can't be returned and sent out to somebody else. And when we send you the letter on the 1st of August, it will verify the number of kits you ordered, the number of kits that you used, and those will need to be reconciled before the checks are sent out to you.
Okay.
But yeah, we will send a letter out to all 500 offices that participated this year so that you have that in writing.
And let's just talk for just a minute about what happened. One of my most favorite parts of the entire year is when the Crown Council gathers together for the annual event. So once a year, all Crown Council teams gather together and we have a very fun, one of the nights we recognize all of the Smiles for Life achievements, contributions. Can you talk a little bit about that, the recognition and how special that is, and what teams are working? I mean, not all teams, but a majority of those who are really pushing Smiles for Life what are they working for that night at the annual event?
For many years, we have done a very special recognition for all teams that raise over $10,000 for Smiles for Life. And on an average, we recognize between 30 and 40 teams every year, bring them up on stage. We also prepare a very special plaque that can hang in the office. And we always have something different that we give those teams as recognition.
Yes.
Sometimes it's stuff you wear. Most of the time it's stuff that they wear.
Yeah.
We've had sweatshirts. One year when we did the sleep thing, we did bathrobes. Remember the bathrobe year?
Well, my most memorable year is when we did baseball jerseys.
Baseball jerseys, probably my favorite.
Ricky Tin thought he was going to get one if he raised enough money the next year. And then we switched it up on him and did something else the next year. And he didn't get his jerseys. But we did make him jerseys.
I believe we put their name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, we did.
One year we did a 10. Everybody was a 10. We had a jersey with a 10 on it.
That's right.
Anyway, we always come up with something fun. And it is heartwarming to see the effort. We should never get calloused to the amount of money that is raised in this effort.
Yeah.
Because every single dollar is important.
And Steve last year, on one of our live streams brought up a really interesting point in that there are 3 very key contributing factors to the Smiles for Life success. One, the contributions of the practice. So the service that you are giving as a Crown Council practice, the time given, ultra dense service, their willingness to give, and then third, the willingness of the patient to donate and receive the service. So very cool. All those 3 things when they come together to make the Smiles for Life whitening campaign work. Greg, can you just talk to the group real quick about where the money goes?
Sure. 50% of the money that's raised in the practice can go to any children's charity that the practice designates. And to date, we have contributed money to almost 1,000 local charities. Boys and Girls Clubs, children's hospitals. It just runs the gamut. And we have found that the offices that raise the most money are passionate about the local charity that they pick.
Yeah.
The other 50% of the money goes to benefit and help a number of our national initiatives, international initiatives. They go to support our humanitarian efforts. Currently, we are running humanitarian efforts in the Dominican Republic. Last year, we did 5 humanitarian trips. This year, we have 4 that are scheduled. And that is a major undertaking. There'll be over 200 members of the Crown Council, their teams and their families that go on those trips this year, which is an amazing effort. We also are opening up a new experience in Mexico, right on the border of Guatemala,
Nice.
San Cristobal.
Okay.
And Dr. Jared Tyre is leading that effort in San Cristobal.
We
We've
should
been
have
down there.
we should have Jared on for a big announcement for that little
We
project.
should. He's been down twice now, and that experience is done with a humanitarian group that builds and operates schools. So we have a ready-made group of people, kind of like Esperanza, that has associates in the Dominican.
Nice.
We're still taking a little bit of a vacation from Guatemala after we got to helicopter our last group out. We're kind of waiting for the political
That was
things down there.
that was a
kind of-
benefit of that trip. That wasn't a negative. That was got a helicopter ride.
Yeah, except for the guy that wrote the check.
Why? Helicopters are expensive. That's fun.
Yeah, that's true. But
Very good.
you know, as I have
Okay.
said many times, change your life.
I will add
We
one.
also we have a number of other national campaigns. We are still very much partners with Garth Brooks Teammates for Kids Foundation, and Stu, you were there this a few months back when we were with Garth in Las Vegas and met with all of the child life specialists in the child life zones.
Yes.
We spent a couple of days with them, masterminding with them. That's something we've done for the last 10 years. And we also support the child life zones in now 15 children's hospitals around the country. And we have a number of other initiatives like that that everybody contributes to with the other half the money.
You know, and one final thing, Greg, before we wrap up just these Smiles for Life announcements is maybe you're sitting there wondering why these practices do contribute to Smiles for Life. There's you know, from our perspective, when we look at the best dental practices in the country, which is what we are involved with day to day with Crown Council, the very best practices find a way to contribute and do good together, kind of outside the practice, building the community, building their relationship in a cause where they're doing good together. And whether that's an incredible story they get to share with their community and patients, whether that's binding the team together through their service for a general cause, there is just a thing about the office culture that cannot be that cannot happen unless you are willingly doing good together, whether it's humanitarian trips or your own charitable work. This is an item that the best dental teams who build a culture of success in their practice are doing. And we've seen that for the last 30 years. This isn't some like wacky experiment. The best teams are doing this. And so if you are interested in participating, the Smiles for Life Whitening Campaign is an incredible opportunity, a turnkey charity system that we just plug you in. The marketing materials in the system have been created, and if you want to participate, we would love to have you. And it's an ongoing year-long program. It doesn't just happen from you know, March to August, March to July. The teams that are best are working on it year-round, and that is certainly possible for anybody who wants to participate. So very good. All right, Greg and I went to Frisco, Texas last week. I'm going to navigate here to the Crown Council website. This is just our landing page at crowncouncil.com. Once a year, we gather all the Crown Council members at the annual event. You can see that right here. This is our annual gathering, and it's kind of a undental dental meeting. It's really a team building and learning experience for dentists and team members and spouses. This is where we gather together all, you know, once a year, we gather everybody together and share 2.5 days of, as you can see here, inspiring speakers, so incredible stuff from the stage, a lot of hands-on learning where teams can work on their office culture, as we talked about, charitable recognition with our charity nights, and I will dovetail that into our recognition night, our awards night, and then we always do something where we have fun. One of the nights, if you can look at this picture, this looks like the 80s prom night, but we've done any number of fun nights together where we all we all dressed up in white when we came to Salt Lake City. We've done dress like your favorite superhero.
How about the
So
pajama night?
we did a pajama night, although
Oh my gosh, and everybody.
I've lost the reason as to I can't remember what were we doing? Why?
Well, we had that children's charity that needed pajamas. And
Okay.
so everybody not only dressed in pajamas, but they brought a pair of
Okay,
pajamas
that's
with
fun.
them.
Very good.
And then we donated all of those pajamas. But when everybody showed up in the ballroom in their pajamas,
Hmm.
that was awesome.
Well, it's always a classic move because I host the Young Dentist where there's 40 or 50 young dentists who have never been to an annual event. And I say, hey, you got to dress up. When we have the dress up night, you got to dress up because everyone will be dressed up and you're going to be the guy that doesn't dress up because you think you're too cool to dress up. Every time it happens, they're always like, I can't believe everybody dressed up. So
I do believe
mhm.
that there may be a Ken and Barbie night.
Man, yeah, we're closing in on what our night's going to be.
Yeah,
So,
it's good. And
uh,
one of the things about the annual event I love, it is an opportunity for recognition.
yeah.
And it is one of the few places in dentistry where both the dentist and the team have an opportunity to be recognized for their actions. And this year we're celebrating the 30th annual event.
Hmm.
And Stu, do you know the gemstone that is associated
Oh
with
boy.
the 30th anniversary of anything?
I don't know. I always feel like this is kind of a ploy.
It is.
They
Oh,
probably want us to like buy diamonds or
it's
rubies or
either
something wacky
Hallmark,
like that.
it's either Hallmark or the jewelry people. But the 30th anniversary of anything is the pearl.
Oh, nice. That's great.
And so
Bring your pearl to the
for
annual
the
event.
annual event, we are going to celebrate the Pearl Awards.
Nice. Cool.
Now, the characteristics of a pearl, they're rare, hard to find, they're singular, they're only found one oyster at a time, they're high value, they're bright and shiny,
Hmm.
they make everything around them look better, and we are going to recognize those traits in dentists or team members in the practice.
Nice.
We're going to reward people who have had a big influence on the success of their practice or their personal success. And those will be fun to celebrate, those fun things.
I'm going to play this little, let's see if I can get the right one here. I'm going to play, how's that look? Is that my whole screen?
Yeah, it's good. Good, good, good.
Let's play Dr. Heap's little video here. Let's see
Oh,
what
I
he
love
says.
Chris.
The annual event every year because it's my weekend where I recharge for the upcoming year. So you can't come away from this event without just feeling inspired and excited to go back and be a better person, a better husband, father, dentist. Just anything you do in life, I do it better after I've been here. Well, when I first came, I thought it was going to be a conference of a lot of dentists, and then I came and I realized that it's a conference of a lot of the best dentists. Over the years, I've come to realize that it's a conference of a lot of just the best people I've ever met in the whole world. I mean, they're phenomenal people outside of dentistry. That they're just people I want to be around because they make me want to be better. Probably my favorite thing from this year's annual event has been watching lights go off in the eyes of my team members and just seeing them react to the speakers or to just that family vibe that there is here, and sharing experiences with other people and running into people at breakfast that give them advice about what they're going through in their lives, and just seeing that glow and that fire that they know that there's people that are here to support them and they want to go back and be better. Seeing my team members respond is by far the greatest part about being here this weekend. I have never once regretted ever coming to an annual event, no matter what it costs to come, no matter how inconvenient it might be. it's the place to be. I mean, just do it. You will not regret it. You'll come and find me, and you'll thank me at next year's annual event when you see me. It's unbelievable.
Cool. All right, so it's filling up for next year. We would love to have every Crown Council office as part of the annual event. So join us in Frisco, Texas. Very cool.
By the way,
Alrighty.
hotel's brand new and pretty cool.
Yeah, very.
Just saying.
All right. Hey, we had a segment a couple weeks ago where we met with Spectrum Solutions. And Spectrum Solutions is a newer resource partner. And I would love to be able to play or re-highlight a bit of Spectrum Solutions video that we shared. So I've got that video prepared. It is, let's see, about 10 minutes long with Colby Healy. And let's play it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the offers and things that are going on with Spectrum Solutions. So let me play that. Let's see. I got to share my screen. All right. You met him in our Perio webinar. Hey, well, we'll bring our next guest in. This is Colby Healy. So last week you met him in our Perio webinar, and it was a abbreviated greeting with Colby. And we wanted to bring him in to spend just a little more time talking about what we shared last week on the webinar. So I thought, hey, let's do 20 minutes with Colby. We actually have 23 minutes with Colby now. This is great. To talk about some details from last week's webinar, which was our most popular webinar we've ever had amongst the membership and non-membership about some Perio solutions and Perio changes out there in the market. And Colby was a big part of that. And we thought we would highlight not only the product that he represents, but more importantly, the service that can be offered to patients through his great product. So Colby, welcome. But before you start, Greg, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how we connected with Colby and our relationship here as a resource partner? Do you want to go there?
Well, I'll tell you the challenge that we were given.
Okay.
We previously had a resource partner that was in the testing space.
Testing what? Wait, we didn't quite introduce what's going on. What are we testing?
Okay, we are saliva testing.
Okay.
And our goal is to be able to increase the knowledge of the dental practice in what is going on inside of the patient's mouth. As we know, it is the window of wellness, and to be able to treat it, because we know that if there is low-grade infection in the mouth, that it can cause all kinds of problems, not just teeth problems.
Yes.
It can cause
And that's really what that's what our webinar was about last week.
That was what the webinar was about. And we had a challenge with the current testing that a lot of Crown Council members used. And so my charge was, first of all, to find a test that could be shipped without it having to be done that same day, shipped overnight, and refrigerated. Second one is that our members did not want to purchase the tests in advance.
Right.
The third was they didn't believe they were receiving sufficient data. The fourth was that the customer service that they were receiving was, what can I say that's kind? Not at the top, not at the level with which we have become accustomed, and that some of the data being received was inconsistent. That is, some of our guys tested 2 different tests, same patient sent the tests in, got different results. And third was a more competitive price. That is how I got introduced.
I don't know if you were at 3. I think you were like on 5 right there. I don't know if we were on 3.
6. I got 6 things. And Colby's going to tell us a little more about it. But aside from the fact that he's a good guy and we only do business with guys we like, he checked all 6 of those boxes.
Yeah.
And so I've said probably more than I should, Colby. you know, I
I'm
don't,
really nervous to live up to this hype.
but I mean, I am a raving fan of Simply Perio, and take it from there. Did
Yeah,
I do okay, Stu? I mean,
No, that was good. That was good.
that was my charge.
I think
Maybe
that
you can now answer the questions.
No, people are going to be very. I know that Colby last week might have even not cut short, but I know you had more to say on our webinar. So, Colby, maybe we just turn it to you, and I know you've got some prepared, and also we're going to share your screen, right? Some.
Yeah, I can do that as well.
Okay, let's do it.
No, I think the key thing here, let me just go ahead and share the screen. It's disabled for right now. Do you want to get it enabled?
Yeah, DJ will disable that.
Okay. But I can talk to it right now. Just kind of the things that Greg talked about. I think overall, when we talked to Greg and talked to going into Crown Council, the value proposition that we wanted to bring to you as a dentist is one question that I ask the dentist that I go speak to on a regular basis. What tool do you have in your toolbox that changes your customer's behavior? And it's a question I ask them, and they often come back with, well, we do cleanings, we'll do the perio, we'll do depth charts, we'll just do everything we can to make sure that their overall health and wellness is good. And I asked them, like, okay, so everything you've done so far is on a visual basis. Some have done saliva testing, but it's not giving them the full really realm of what's going on in their mouth. And so I give them the challenge of, normally there's a statistic in medicine that 80% of the changes or treatments are done after lab testing. And so the question I've asked them, are you doing saliva diagnostic testing? Because if not, you're not really truly understanding what's going on in the mouth. Only by doing the saliva diagnostic test or a test in itself, you'll be able to understand truly what's going on in the mouth and truly understand what's causing the issues. Why is there irritation to the gums? Why are they having deep pockets? What's going on truly with this patient, the overall health and wellness of the patient. And so one of the slides that I wanted to share, and it's not coming up still, Stu, but it's fine. I can just speak to it. One of the main things and sayings that my team has is oral health is a medical problem with a dental solution. I think that says it best. The overall health and the oral health of your patient is it's our duty and diligence. Our practice has to take care of that patient. It's not just going to their doctor, it's going to the dentist. And like I told Stuart and Greg the other day when we were speaking, I gave them some truths about me. I go to my dentist 10 times more often than I go to my regular doctor. My dentist I consider a good friend, and I really, truly trust everything that they tell me. Whereas when I go to my doctor, I'm like, it sounds good. Let's go ahead and stick with what we're doing. But overall, that's kind of the wellness and behavior I think that we have to have for the patients and for the dentist, our patients as a whole. And that's the one thing I would tell you when I go to sell you this. I'm not selling it as a doctor. I'm selling you this as a patient. This is something that I've educated myself on because of what we do and how we offer it. And so that's the value added benefit of it. I kind of want to just start off with speaking about, some of the things Greg talked about. Greg talked about the offer that we have out to you guys is what we're going to do is we'll have the saliva test sent to you. Once you sign up, you'll get 24 of these kits. They'll come in a case. In that same case, you'll have a welcome packet. In that welcome packet, you'll get 30 of these chairside guides, just cards that as your hygienists are working or if someone has time to wait, we just hand them a card, let them read more about it, let them understand and educate themselves so they can speak to it.
Okay, you should be able
We'll
to
have,
Colby.
yeah.
You should be able to share your screen. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Colby, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You said you were going to ship 24 of those kits.
That's correct.
And where is the invoice for those 24?
Well, that's the beauty of it, Greg. I think the reality of it is for us as a team and understanding what the dentists want, we don't want to put that burden on the dentist. We want it to be something that we reconcile afterwards. So what happens is we'll send you these 24 kits. You'll get a welcome packet with it. And then what happens is as you register the kits in the provider portal, and I'll go in and show you that, but as you register them, and not until it results back to you as a doctor or for the patient to report, your patient report then will be charged and we'll bill you at the end of the month, at the end of the week. So every Friday you'll get billed for every test that's reported back from the lab.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, so we got to go through 6 things. That's
Yeah,
one
that's
out of
one.
one for me.
One
I
thing.
got one.
Okay.
Okay, Colby, keep going, keep going.
No, I think it's great. And so this is that statement that we talked about. And really, one of the questions that often gets asked, Greg, is, well, who do I test? What do I want to do as far as testing, and who do I want to test? I have a slide here I wanted to kind of speak to. Really, the obvious answer here, and we'll go through some of these later, but the obvious answer is test everyone, because truly we don't know what's going on. It's just like a cardiologist is going to draw my blood when I go in to see if I have high blood pressure and see if anything else is going on in my body. They're going to draw blood and do a lab test. Same thing we need to do at the dentist. We need to take a draw of saliva, send it in, and really truly understand what's going on with the mouth. It's the patients that are getting the root canals. Anything else that's going to be a post or restorative care, I would for sure do it too, because then you know how the mouth's going to react. If you're pulling a tooth out, if you're doing an implant, anything on that aspect of it as well. So I think that's a general question we get quite often, Greg, is who do we test? I would say test everybody. And then to speak to that a little bit further on is, well, they ask, okay, who do we test? Well, we test everybody. Well, how often? I think that that question comes back to the results. You're going to see different results for different patients. I've got a sample report right here that we can go over and show you. This is one thing that this is going to mark number 2, Greg, for you as well. Talking about the pathogens that we're looking for. We have a total of 16 pathogens. You have the 9 for perio. We have also the caries and then yeast, the fungal, and then also the viral. So as you see these, you're going to have the 16 pathogens total. And we get asked quite a bit by dentists, well, why the viral? And that's a key importance. I think the question there really is to show you what other infections your body is fighting. It's not to show you that you have herpes or that, because most dentists aren't going to treat it, but it gives them an indication why there's a higher infection in the mouth, because the body's immune system's not able to go and fight. Say they have AA. AA is going to be more rampant because they're testing high for other infections. Does that answer 2 of them, Greg?
Mm-hmm. You did good. The one that we might do right now is you just did the test.
Yeah.
And now I gotta go pack it in cold stuff and call UPS so that they're
yeah.
there by 4 o'clock, I'm sure, to keep it stable.
Well, and that's a good question, Greg. We'll make it super simple. I'll show you the test in a whole really quick. This is the test you're going to get. It'll come in a shrink wrap. You just pull the sleeve off. As you notice, there's going to be a label already pre-applied, Greg. That's going to take care of it for the shipping back. That's going to be USPS back to our lab. So the US Postal Service. And the reason that's important and why you said that we don't have to cold chain store it is in our device, there's a preservation buffer. So in that, so when you do this test, you're going to have 2 things inside the kit. You're going to have a saline rinse, and then you're going to have our device. So what I do is I'll just typically take the patient. I'm not going to give you this solution on the live webinar, but I want to just show you what it is that you'll do. They'll take this, they'll rinse the saline for 20 to 30 seconds, really agitating the gums. They're then going to take the device.
Colby, that is a good thing though, because I've done this test before and you just are sitting in the chair trying to produce like a giant logie and it just does not work. It's so nice to have the rinse.
Yes, that's the value of it. We had that. One of the things we found out early on is that rinse is going to aid in collecting the saliva, because we did millions and millions of saliva tests with Ancestry and other groups. And so we kind of learned early on in our studies, it's important to make it easy. And obviously at the time at the patient chair side, there's very limited time there. So they'll swish for 20 seconds, then they'll spit into the tube. And once they spit into the tube, they take the funnel off, and you're just going to take this cap. The cap has a preservation buffer. They'll just screw it down, and you'll see that blue buffer drops into the tube.
Nice.
As soon as that buffer is dropped, everything is stabilized. And also the one thing you'll know, Greg, is that also takes the snapshot of what bacteria is in the mouth at the time of collection. So if you have to go cold chain ship one, you're going to still sit it on the counter. It's going to get to room temperature. It's going to grow bacteria. Whatever bacteria is in there can grow. It's not going to give you the immediate snapshot. This will stabilize everything from the time of collection to the time it gets back to our lab. And to kind of give you a little bit more information on that, this is the same preservation buffer that stores DNA for up to 5 years. So that just kind of shows you the stability of it. So we have data up to 5 years at room temperature for DNA. So, I mean,
So
it's
Colby,
really
this is your
robust.
very first product you've ever done, right?
Yes, it's got us into it.
Except for the million tests you've done
No, this is
for
this is
oral
not a first
DNA
product.
and
We've done millions and millions of at-home collection kits and business to business as well. So
yeah,
you just simply take that tube, put it in the bag, and then you literally just stick it back in the box, seal the box, and shut it. And the nice thing is, Greg, that just goes in the front desk by the USPS pickup. They come every day to drop off mail. They come every day to pick it up. So they're going to take this and take it back, and that'll go to our lab. The typical transit time and return time from the lab is about a week. So you're going to get results within a week. Usually it's about 2 to 3 days in shipping, and then it's resulted within 24 to 48 hours return at the lab. So that's going to give you the turnaround time.
Colby, can you talk for a minute about, I know we mentioned this at the webinar, that in the shipment of kits that they get, there are some free, I guess what you would classify as free tests. Can you talk
no, it's
about
great.
what a Crown Council team can do with those?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of options for each Crown Council member. I would recommend you test some of your patients. I would recommend you use those for your hygienists. I think it's good for the hygienists to truly understand what they're offering and how they use it. And I want them to see the ease of use for it. And that's why we offer the 5 free tests. So the first 5 tests, whether you use them on the hygienist or a patient, it's the same thing. It's at no charge. So that first case, you're only going to get charged for the 24, but really, Greg, like you talked about earlier, you're only going to get charged as you use them. So we want to see you using them. We're going to give you also a dedicated account manager. So you'll have a dedicated sales rep and you'll also have a dedicated account manager. And the whole purpose of the account manager is to give you that personal touch. We want you to, if you have questions, to be able to reach out via email or phone call, either way. So that way, if you have a question on a test, hey, where are my results? You can look in the portal, but if they're not there and you have a question still, please reach out to us. We want to make sure that the experience is a good experience for all of you. But that's what you can do with those 5 free tests. You're able to utilize them for your office staff, test yourself if you want as the dentist. But I would recommend definitely having the hygienist, the ones that are going to be performing the test, take it and utilize those tests.
Well, I think more than anything too, Steve and I recorded a skill of the week this week that one of the most compelling marketing advantages that a practice has is doing the work yourself.
Yep.
And I would say when you get these tests that you definitely should test each other, go through the process of what it means to get the results, look online, and then even the treatment if it's needed. I think that's a real key and smart thing to do as a practice to walk a patient through is knowing how it's done yourself. So very good.
I completely agree. And I think obviously we understand here at Simply Perio really the true value of time. And that's kind of what I wanted to just briefly show you, just the provider portal.
Okay.
I'll just do a quick video of it. I can show you a quick little snippet of it. I wanted to go over and show you what it looks like, just so that everybody can see what it is and how easy it is to use and really register the test kits. So let me just go ahead and minimize that. So you'll just go to our website, you'll log in. Once you log in, if you have an order in there, say we wanted to go place the order I just took as a sample, Stuart.
Okay.
We'll take that, we'll go to orders, and then simply just create a new order. You're going to click the drop down. There's only one test you're going to choose from. You'll tap in the sample ID. All of these tubes will have a sample ID as well as on the top of this device itself. So they'll type in that sample ID and just type it in. On there, once that's typed in, there's only 5 things we need from them. We need their first name for the patient, the last name. So we'll just do test, last name, sample. Helps if I can spell. And then just a birth date. And then we're going to just pick the sex, female, male, or unknown. Depends on what they are. And then just the patient email. And right now, this patient email, you can do the office email. It's not going to email them. There's soon to be a feature to where you can actually email the results to your patients. That feature should be out in about a month. And so if you want to share the results after you've done the consultation with the patient, you can do that as well. and then they'll just select the provider name, and then they'll just click create order. And then what that does, it'll create the order. Oh, I have to do a valid email. Let me just do my own. It does check that. So once you've done that, you'll create the order, and then you'll see in the provider portal, they'll see the orders list up here. Once that's in there, you'll see the order, you'll see the status and the order of what's in there. This is going a little slower than normal, as always, when someone else is watching.
Well, it's because you're sucking a lot of bandwidth talking to us.
But you'll see the test, you'll see the patient, you'll see the sample, and you'll see a status. That status is going to change as it gets through the process. So right now, as I entered it, it's going to be an open status. And then once it goes from open, it's going to go to in the lab. So it's received at the lab. They'll accession it, and then it'll be resulted. And then you'll be able to actually click on that, and there'll be a report in here. Obviously, there's no report yet for this one, but they'll have a report here once you get it back, and that'll go back to the sample report that I was showing you earlier. So you would see something similar to what I had showed you on this right here. That would be the report. They'd have the patient name. Here's the before report. And this is a sample of someone that we took and ran some tests here with doing some different mouth rinses and different things on our own studies. And here's a before, and then here's an after. So I mean, you can see the TF went down, and really the FA went down as well. But this is what's going to be important for you as a dentist. It gives you a clear snapshot, and it's going to be a quantitative result. That's one thing I forgot to mention when showing this to you, is this is a quantitative result. So you're going to get the actual level you're at. And so if you do treatment and then you retest, you're going to see the difference, not just in a slider, but you're going to see that in an actual number. So if you were at 1,000 before and you're down to 500, obviously what you're doing to change and bring that infection down is working. And so you'll see that and get the success from there.
Hey, let's, if it's okay, wrap up with ordering.
Wait.
What?
We've only checked 5 of my 6 boxes.
Oh,
No,
what's
you're the
left?
two.
What's
Let's get them
left?
going. I want to make sure we hit
What's
them.
left?
Price.
Oh yeah, great.
Good
Price.
question, Greg. I appreciate that. So
I want to, this is just so outstanding.
yes. So our price is $90 for each test, and that $90 includes the shipping to you and also the shipping to the lab. So it's just a flat $90. We have offices that do it as a straight pass-through when they do the test, and then we have offices that charge up to $150. Really, it's up to you as what you want to do with your practice, but really the benefit of this is going to bring other business to you as you run these tests. You're going to see you need to do cleanings, root planing, and scaling. It'll teach you as you go what you need to do, and it's going to bring the business in to cover that cost.
Nice.
I think too, and one of the things that we have talked about together, Stu, I think you mentioned this when we were together, is that one of the skills that we teach is to remember what you told the patient the last time they were in the chair, and be sure that you are following through with those things when they get back into your chair. Otherwise, they think you don't care. They're sitting in the chair and you say, hey, you know, we really needed to fix blah, blah, and you didn't get it done, didn't have time to do it.
Doesn't matter.
Then if you don't bring it up, they don't think it matters. Well, if I've got a test in front of me and you're treating me, you can easily, the retesting becomes a follow through that is very natural.
Right.
I like to check boxes, you know, here's my test. I want to check the boxes and be sure that all those little red guys are green guys.
Right. And I think as you see that, Greg, you're going to see as you go, you want to know as yourself, if you're doing a treatment, how is my treatment working as a patient?
Okay, I just want to know I did my job at 6 out of 6.
Oh yeah, great job.
Thank
6
you.
out of 6.
Thank
He
you.
got his
You get all
list.
6 boxes?
Yep.
We checked them all.
Okay. Well, for you guys, just the one way to get signed up, there's a little QR code right at the bottom of this screen. That QR code will take you to a new customer form. That information will come back to me. I will reach out to you. We'll get an onboarding set up. We'll ship out your first case of 24. It's
Nice.
super simple. There's not much needed. It'll take you about 5 minutes to fill out. And we'll get you up and going and running on Simply Perio.
Nice. QR code works. I just used it. Ready to go. Okay. Okay, Colby, thanks. We hope that this is,
Really appreciate it.
you bet. I hope this is like a kickoff of a great partnership relationship with you. And not only that, but I think Greg said it at the beginning, being the forefront of patient healthcare what a great step this is as Crown Council will lead the way in making sure that you.
Very much.
I have one more thing.
Nope. You're
Which
done.
one of you two guys told me how much spit I swallow every day?
Oh, that's
That
disgusting.
was from
Who
our
was
UCLA
that
study.
told me that?
I did.
Okay. What was
And
it? Like-
We did a
like-
study with UCLA and we found the average human swallows 1.5 liters of saliva.
So-
okay, so
Stuart, start drinking.
Yeah. It's just, ooh.
so we got all this infection in our mouth, and we're
Right.
wondering why it matters. That's a lot of stuff going into your system every day.
Right. In the last webinar, we talked about the Alzheimer's effect. It's good. It's real. It's not just something we're giving you. It's something that's real. There's studies to it. There's peer reviews. There's a lot of information about periodontal disease. We have a lot of information and tools on our website to help you as you help the patients. There's a chairside guide that's going to give you those tools you need to be successful.
You're a good man, Colby. Thank you.
Thanks, Colby.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Very good. Anything to add there, Gregor? I know you put the link in our chat. I don't know if everybody that's watching the live stream can see that, so I will be sure to include the chat, the link for everybody to see.
It goes
in
the
the-
same place as the QR code too.
Yeah, in the recording, and then the QR code we just showed. So very good. Yeah, the deal and offer are still available to all Crown Council members, which is awesome. And very good. Great partnership there. I hope that we can really get some traction and momentum going for Simply Perio.
He's
So,
the real deal.
yeah.
Colby's a great guy to work
Awesome.
with.
Hey, so we launched a new product. I'm going to navigate to the Crown Council website. So we launched a new product maybe a year, 2 years ago. In everyone's directory, you should be able to see if you go to My Directory. So this is what My Directory looks like. But inside every premium member hubs is what we call the Young Dentist Mentorship series. And we've actually added this to everybody who is also a basic member. So if you've joined us and don't have full access to the library, you do have full access to this mentorship series. And that's mostly because we created this series with students in mind. We created it so when you watch our little series here, it gives you an idea of where to go next when exiting dental school. So we did a season. So this is the first season where Steve and I talked to, we did 12 episodes on, okay, so you're going to buy a retiring practice, dentist practice. You're going to start a practice from scratch. You're going to work in a family practice. You're going to be an associate and then a practice owner. So you can read these. We went through all these different types of doctors and we interviewed them and then we posted them. And now we have started the second series. So series 2 has been started. And a couple weeks ago, we launched, and you heard Dr. David Montz. We've played this on the live stream before. And releasing next week, so we're going to do one every 2 weeks, is we're going to meet with Dr. Chase Larson. And I'm going to just play the first, how much time we got? First 12 minutes of Dr. Larson's interview. And then next week, you'll get the full, it's about 45 minutes with Dr. Larson talking about his journey, how he started off after dental school, and then how he built his new practice. Chase is also a huge part of our Young Dentist program as one of our mentors. But I'm going to play this just as a piece to get everybody excited about this new series and for what's to come with Dr. Larson. And with us, hey Steve, how are you?
I'm excellent, Dr. Larson. Welcome.
Greetings, Chase.
Thanks for having me.
Dr.
Appreciate
Larson, I was actually looking at your Crown Council membership record. Joined as a student in 2012. The first time there's any record of you in our system, October 23rd, 2012, as a dental student. That's a long time ago.
It feels like just a few weeks ago at this point. Yeah, years add up quickly.
Very cool.
So,
go ahead.
start out and maybe you could just outline for everybody the journey, what got you into dentistry in the first place. And you've had a very interesting journey of that's landed you where you are today. Walk us through decision points and experience to this point.
So my journey in dentistry really began as a senior in high school. I actually went on a Smiles for Life Crown Council humanitarian expedition with my
Nice.
dentist, who was Dr. Roy Hammond. And we went to Vietnam, and we had really two purposes as part of the trip. One was we were helping to build a school, and then we were also helping Dr. Hammond with the dentistry in a few different villages in the Mekong Delta in Vietnam. And that was really my first exposure to dentistry outside of just being a patient in his practice. And I kind of fell in love with the ability to help people. I thought it was just such a cool experience. And the other thing that really it highlighted for me was this unique skill that Dr. Hammond had to help people. So, we were there, we were helping build this school, but they could build a school too. And they were mostly just kind of showing us what to do. But the dentistry part was something that if Dr. Hammond wasn't there, it just wasn't going to happen for them. And so that was really the thing that sparked my interest in dentistry. And I worked with Dr. Hammond as a mentor to kind of figure out the path moving forward through college and then into dental school. But that was really the thing that got me started, was this relationship with a mentor, and then kind of carried me through dental school and through, the early years of private practice.
Nice. Chase, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your experience in dental school, where you were, and lessons learned from that part of your journey.
So I went to dental school in Boston at Tufts University. And, other than this relationship that I had with my mentors and some shadowing, I didn't have a lot of dental experience. So when I got into dental school, I mean, I honestly didn't even know the difference between an incisor and a canine. I was really, really new to dentistry. Didn't even really know what to expect in terms of dental school, and then also in terms of a career in dentistry. So it was all new to me. But dental school was a great experience for me, and I had some mentors in dental school as well. That I think the biggest thing for me was helping me build an excitement about dentistry and become passionate about a few areas in dentistry. And in dental school, you go in and there are so many different paths you can take after dental school, different specialties. If you're going to do general practice, a lot of different types of general practices that you can go into. And it's a little overwhelming trying to figure out your whole life in those few years in dental school and figure out what you want to do when you've never even really done it in real life. And so my third and fourth years of dental school, I started working with this mentor. He was a Brazilian prosthodontist who really got me excited about aesthetic dentistry, restorative dentistry, and we started doing some cases together and started figuring out, okay, this is something that I really like doing, and started focusing more and more on that in dental school. So that was kind of the thing that got me started on this path, was just this excitement for dentistry and the cool things that you can do, because he was so passionate about it. And you could tell it was just something that he loved doing. It wasn't a career where it was just something to make money for him. It was just a passion that he had. And so I thought, man, that's really a cool way to look at your career and be excited to come to work, be excited to work with patients. And so I decided after dental school, that's kind of the route that I wanted to go. And so I did a residency in Idaho, and it was a AEGD residency, and it was a really broad scope of practice. We did a lot of surgery. Our clinic director was an oral surgeon, and so we did a lot of oral surgery. But I also had a couple good restorative dentists who were mentors there, and did some larger restorative cases that I couldn't do in dental school. And again, just started doing more and more of that and realizing that that was something that I wanted to do. So through dental school, through residency, you're still trying to figure out exactly where you want to go, what type of practice you want to have. But I feel like I started to kind of build this vision in my head for the practice that I eventually wanted to have, and the career and kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live around dentistry, by watching other mentors and other dentists who we're passionate about it.
And Chase, if I can just highlight this, because if you're like most dentists, I'm sure there were some dental school professors that were not as positive and passionate as your Brazilian mentor. That'd be safe to assume.
I would say the majority, the vast majority.
Okay, so I want to highlight this for everybody who's listening to this. There was something inside of you that chose to gravitate towards somebody who was passionate and positive about the profession and had love for it. And, we always say you become like the people you surround yourself with. In your case, you chose a positive minded mentor, and somehow you kind of put on the sideline all the guys who were negative and let them kind of do their thing, but didn't allow them to negatively affect you. And I know that sounds like a simple principle, but often violated.
Right. And I think the biggest thing that attracted me to those types of people was the excitement that they had about it. And it really seemed like anything was possible. Let's just figure out a way. As opposed to, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's not the right way to do it. It was like, okay, let's figure out a way to do it. We can make this work. And then really taking an interest in me. I mean, these were people that really, you could tell, enjoyed mentoring, enjoyed working with young dentists, and kind of put their arm around me and made me feel like, anything's possible.
And they're out there.
They're out there for sure. Yeah. And because at every stage of my career, I've found those people. They're there and they want to help, and they're fun people to be around for sure.
Well, and starting with Roy Hammond, I mean, he opened the door.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
So you practiced in a number of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just I kind of going along with Roy. I mean, it wasn't just that experience that I had as a 17-year-old high school student. After I finished residency, I worked in a private practice, kind of a traditional PPO type practice for about a year, and then again, Roy Hammond came back in and introduced me to an opportunity at a fee-for-service practice that was a little bit more aligned with kind of the vision that I had for my practice style. And again, introduced me kind of to the next mentor in my life. That was Dr. Michelle Jorgensen, who had this really unique holistic practice. But she was also at the time doing a lot of comprehensive restorative dentistry, aesthetic dentistry. And so really quickly, early in my career, I had this opportunity to work with her and learn from her and start doing a lot of dentistry that I probably wouldn't have been able to do in a lot of other practices. And so again, it was like, Dr. Hammond kind of was the one that got me going. And then I started working with Dr. Jorgensen, who she really had this abundance mentality. The idea that if the doctors that I'm working with, if my associates are doing well, that means I'm doing well, and really just pulled me up as much as she could to her level. And so I was able to do a lot of dentistry really quickly at a young age and early in my career.
Nice.
And then the path continued kind of back to Hammond.
Yeah, it did. And I've always stayed in touch. So Dr. Hammond, his son, Chris Hammond, was my dentist, as I was kind of going through like my junior high and high school years and through dental school. And so we've stayed really close friends. We actually went skiing yesterday and talked dentistry, for a few hours on the lift. But he introduced me to Dr. Hornbrook, who is a mentor to a lot of Crown Council dentists over the years, and connected me with the Young Dentist program. So when I was just starting working with Dr. Jorgensen, I went through this Young Dentist program with Dr. Hornbrook and was able to start to learn some of the systems that make aesthetic dentistry predictable, and saw again the passion that Dr. Hornbrook has for it, where he just loves what he's doing, and he loves teaching, and he loves kind of taking young dentists under his wing. And so it was.
All right, I'll stop there. Top of the hour. It's so good. One of the things that I'll tease about is that Chase goes on to build his own practice, Chase Inspired Dentistry, and it was not as easy as he thought it would be. And he talks about the struggles of building his own practice, even though he felt like it was really time to launch. And really interesting to learn some of the things that he would do different, things he would do the same. So look for that video next week. We're going to post the whole podcast to the library series. So
He is a good guy.
yeah, he's great.
Very talented.
Very good. Man, the hour went fast, Greg. I wish we could get through more, but we'll be back next week. Little different format next week. We're going to have a live webinar with Steve. Steve is going to be sharing on our GoToWebinar platform, so it won't even be on Zoom. We're going to release the link for everyone to register and be part of it, but it is he is going to be sharing a few of the things that really made him and the TOPS program, I don't know, should I say famous? So the 7 secrets to hearing a yes, how to eliminate the biggest obstacle of financial arrangements. He's going to talk about the one question that you should never ask a new patient, why most financial arrangements fall short, and what you can do instead. The #1 myth about your patient's money, and the biggest mistake financial coordinators make and how to avoid it. There's a lot more. So next week, we're going to be live doing a webinar with Steve. So we'll be excited to share that. And that's it. We'll be back next week. So that's it. Thanks, Gregor.
Nicely done, Stu.
All righty. Good to be with you. Thanks, everybody,
Hey.
for joining. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.